this last episode of the podcast, hello. For those of you in the room, please join me in welcoming back our guests. We've got Graham Hughes, Joe Waterfield and Scott Brown. Just keep that going until hello boys.
Hello.
That was good. Everyone trying to judge when the appropriate time is. Is it when the first person sits down or when the last person sits down?
Why break with tradition, eh, Craig?
Yeah, exactly. That's a callback to every episode so far when that's happened. I've had to cut my intro for this every episode because of this.
The water round.
Yeah. Our first round is I ran into a bit of trouble with this in my intros for last time. Our first round is called taglines, and in this round I have given our panellists some of the catchphrases for films, and I'm going to ask them to try and identify what they are the tagline for. The first one that we have in this round is just because they serve you doesn't mean they like you.
Could be for Wimbledon. The film about Wimbledon.
Yes, there was a film about Wimbledon.
It was called Wimbledon.
It was called Wimbledon, yeah.
I believe.
I quite liked it.
Didn't see it, just took a note of the title.
That's how the game's played.
And the subject matter.
Yeah. Any other ideas?
Is it Roots? It's a bit of a obscure reference.
Is it Roots?
It's not. No.
I think somebody's just joined us, Craig.
I didn't catch that, so I'm going to pretend it didn't happen.
For everyone that missed that, then it was a slavery joke.
Ah,
is the answer.
That is fantastic.
Thank you.
It's too late for me to give you the laugh now. It's amazingly patronising.
You can edit it in for the podcast.
So, do it again.
Is it Roots?
Oh, it's a slavery joke.
That is a clever reference.
Nailed it.
I got.
I like that.
Does anyone know what the actual answer is?
Yeah, it's Clerks.
It is Clerks. Well done, Scott Brown. That's the first points of the evening. Well done. One of my ones that I didn't include for the show, which is because it gives away the title in a grammatically incorrect way, was the everyone knows I like Steven Seagal. It's the hard to kill catchphrase, which was "He's back, and this time he's even more harder to kill." Which I really like. I also discounted the catchphrase for "Children of the Corn." Did anyone ever see that film or know what the catchphrase was? The catchphrase was based on the short story "Children of the Corn" by Stephen. Really sells it. And quite a prophetic one, which was the catchphrase for the 1976 film "The Tenant," which was "Nobody does it to you like Roman Polanski." Let's see what our second question is in this round. The bitch is back. What could that be the catchphrase for?
Was it the forthcoming Twilight film?
Were you angered by the recent events of K-Stew in Arpats? I can't pull that off.
As much as I hated them, I just thought they were a nice couple, and then she went fucked it up.
Yeah.
How dare she?
Yeah.
I was so just distraught.
Is it Lady and the Tramp?
I'm really patient. I'll let you go first now.
What was yours, Graham?
Lady and the Tramp 2. Which makes more sense.
Do you want to do one about Lassie or something like that?
No, I'm trying to remember my other one. You go. Vamp.
Is it Lassie? It's another one.
It's not Lassie.
Or a dog, isn't it?
Did you remember the other one there?
Yeah, it came back to me.
Okay.
Are they making an Iron Lady sequel? Aliens?
It's Alien 3.
It's Alien 3. Well done, Scott Brown. He steals some more points there.
Barnstorming today.
Third is Nice Guys Finish Last, Meet the Winners.
Is this Chariots of Fire? So actually Roger Bannister wasn't really that nice a guy.
Is it a U2 biopic?
It's not.
It's not what we've got a room full of U2 fans. Fuck's sake.
Is that a U2 reference?
Yeah.
Oh, right, okay.
Yes.
Sorry, I just don't know U2.
Yeah. A lot of people don't like Bono. I think that's the
route I was going down.
That's the route Scott was going for there.
Whereas some people are pro Bono, aren't they?
That's a point. So, you got that one for free.
Thanks very much.
See one guy.
I genuinely, I think I know this one actually. I think it's Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
It is actually Dirty Rotten Scoundrels.
The excellent double team of Michael Caine and Steve Martin as well.
As seen there, yes, well done, Joe. That's definitely a point there. Our fourth question is: things are about to get a little hairy.
Boogie Nights.
Harry and the Hendersons?
It's not Harry and the Hendersons.
Oh, good one.
It's a.
That would be Big Harry, wouldn't it?
Things are about to get
Things
massive.
things are very hairy right now.
It's actually not a very good film, but it's a sequel to a very good film.
All right. I was going to say, is it anything starring Danny DeVito, who is little and hairy? But he's got some good work. He's got some good films on his
Yeah, I
belt.
think you'd be harsh to say that he was in lots of bad films because he's been in some cracking stuff. This is a horror sequel, if that helps anyone out.
Ooh,
King Kong goes to France.
King Kong goes to France. That sounds like the nicest version of where's Big King Kong? Oh, France. Felt like going to France. It's not like even he destroys France, it's just that he went into France. It's a really nice place, I'm sure you'd have fun.
Funnily enough, that's helped me just got the
I
answer.
think it should give you the
It's
answer.
an American Werewolf in Paris.
It is American Werewolf in Paris, well done, Scott. That is a very bad film, but
What? Excuse me.
American Werewolf in London. That's a
Oh, I
film.
see.
American Werewolf in
mistaken,
Paris, you will find is awful.
sorry. Okay, yeah.
I
I got confused
would,
there.
I would like to point that out. If you're in HMV and you're like, which one? London, definitely London, not that. Get King Kong goes to France if you're interested in hairy animals going to France. Yes, so that's our fourth one, and our final one of the round is lie, cheat, steal, all in a day's work.
Little Rascals.
Is it Oliver? the film musical about a cheeky little con artist and
Yeah.
cheeky little pickpocket.
Yes, it's not that.
That's not that.
It should have been,
Yeah.
but it isn't.
Is it Mean Girls?
It's not Mean Girls. No, this one is a good film. By
I think you said it after I said Mean Girls.
well, I Mean Girls is alright, but this film is amazing.
Well, this is. I do actually know this one. The Oliver crack. That was a bit of banter.
We're
Really.
just having fun.
We were
There.
just having fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is genuinely one of my favourite films. It's Glengarry Glen Ross.
It certainly is Glengarry Glen Ross. If you haven't seen that film, do get out there and watch it. Also see the play. It's fantastic.
I
Either way.
started watching it last week and I didn't get through like half an hour. It's like, ugh. It didn't do it for me.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man,
Oh,
stick
man.
it out.
I like the bit
Yes.
where Alec Baldwin, bitches everyone out. It's
Yeah.
good.
Well, the interesting thing, so you're going to learn something here, is that the scene with Alec Baldwin, where he says, "You got to have brass balls in this business," and he pulls out a pair of brass balls. That wasn't in the play. It was a scene they added into the film. So Alec Baldwin's character is introduced into the film to explain why all these like middle-aged men are acting so horribly towards each other and being so competitive. Whereas in the play, it's just because they're all dicks, really.
So that's the end of the taglines round. Glengarry, Glenross is the correct answer. And out in front at the end of round 1 is Joe Waterfield. So we'll give him the point. We're now into what is always my favourite round of this, which is worst ideas for a film. It's the lawn seal round of this. It's exactly what it says in the tin. I'm going to ask the panellists to pitch me some terrible ideas for films, and I'm going to mark them on how funny they are. The problem with this round, I think, for you guys, is that a lot of the worst ideas for films have already been made. So I want to hear what crappy ideas you have for terrible films, and we'll start with Scott.
Right, okay. It's a film starring Cary Grant where he is framed for a crime he didn't commit and has to travel across America to clear his name. But he gets lost in West by Southwest.
Well, this is it's a little bit of a saucy film actually, but it's also one that helps you value things that you might have found in the loft if you're doing a loft conversion. Which is also that's the tagline of the film, and it's called the Rocky Horror Antiques Roadshow. It's basically old people in fishnets, and just go with that.
Potato, the motion picture. Speaks for itself.
It's fantastic.
Would that star Mr. Potato Head? Or
That's
an
too
actual
interesting.
Potato? Okay, so
It's a film.
yeah, that'd be too animated.
It's literally a potato.
Oh.
Just on its own, or is there a script, or is it just freewheel?
Is it subtitled or dubbed?
It's I don't know. I haven't really thought that much about it. It's just a potato.
It's
90 minutes.
I think I've cracked why you haven't got funding yet. If that is your level, right? It's just a potato.
I just assumed they would be like, yeah.
Time Cop 2. Jean-Claude Van Damme's Time Cop meets an alien police officer, played by TNA wrestler Rob Van Dam, called Space Cop, and joins forces to make a continuum.
It's nice when people get together.
Yeah.
So twins, yeah. Danny DeVito and Schwarzenegger find out that they're long-lost brothers, twin brothers. For those that don't know, Triplets is coming out next year, with Eddie Murphy as the third triplet. So I've jotted down some ideas for who could be in quadruplets, the fourth sibling. Kathy Bates,
Zac Efron.
or Miley Cyrus.
Yeah.
Jackie Chan. I had a bit of like martial arts in the mix. Eddie Murphy in a fat suit.
That's getting some points.
Dwayne Johnson plays Sean Connery's character in a remake of The Rock. Bit of a wrestling niche joke there. Who's got Arnold Schwarzenegger gives birth to an old man in Senior. A giant gorilla becomes a doorbell salesman in Ding Dong. Reservoir Dog. Tim Roth holds up a bank, gets shot and dies at the scene.
Well, how do you come back from that? This is it's a bit of a gory film actually, and it hasn't actually received the notice that you would get that says no animals were harmed in this picture, because lots of animals are harmed in the picture. It's called So I Married a Yaks Murderer. Which is, where your man marries someone who just really likes murdering yaks. It's quite gory, so if you like yaks, don't see this film. But in all other respects, it's alright. Watchable.
Not really thought this out that well, but I'll just kind of roll with it. Sometimes interesting to see where films would pick up after they've finished. So, Back to the Future 3, the doc says, "Oh, you can start your life fresh. You know, the future's your own," and all that. As we learned from the first Back to the Future, he comes back to his house. Everything's like all amazing, but he doesn't have a clue what's going on. They're like, "Oh, you're going to the whatever, the lake," and he's like, "I am. What? And Dad, you're like skinny and successful. What? Biff is doing this," and like he doesn't have a fucking clue what is going on. So it's all well and good. Yeah, it's a kind of happy ending, but people are gonna figure out pretty soon that he
Has no memory.
has no memory of like the last 20 years of his life, and I'd like to see how that would pan out. To be honest.
There is a film that is Croupier, starring Clive Owen, which is a kind of look at the seedy underworld of casinos and gambling. And this film also stars Clive Owen. All the budget would go on that, basically, just getting Clive Owen. And it's bingo caller. It's just Clive Owen using his clipped English accent to say Two Fat Ladies, 88, and all the other bingo number names that we all know and love that I can't remember. Number one.
Yeah.
Two.
Yeah. What? One fat lady.
One fat lady.
Is that
One
how-
thin lady.
Yeah. A duck.
And the tagline, which I have thought up, is and bingo was his name of. B-I-N-G-O.
Excellent.
It's gripping.
At the end of the worst ideas for a film round, a lot of points scored, but Joe Waterfield still marginally in the lead, so give him a big hand. Our next round is our odd one out round. Be very impressed if any of you get this. The clue that I will give you before we start is that this is tied to the Deep Fried Film Festival. This is a festival-themed festival question. So, first off, do we know who these people are?
David Heyman. Peter Mullen.
Peter Mullen, Hugo Spear.
Hugo Spear.
Was it Hannah Waterman?
Hannah Waterman, yeah. That's good. I didn't even identify these folk. So, the link is the festival.
Deep Fried Film Festival. 3 of them have been deep fried. One of them has not been deep fried. The one who has not been deep fried is the lady, because that would be quite painful because she's got long hair. You get hair in the batter, wouldn't
Yeah.
you?
To be honest, I deep fried a bald guy once and he said it was still sore.
He's
like, that is still really hard.
It'd be worse ones, actually. No, wait. It's the guy, the more balding man. Yeah, he's the odd one out. Because of what you said.
That's not the answer.
I think I know the answer, but I don't want to say because I'll just end the round without any more laughs. Like
That's
this.
sometimes a risk we take.
I'm just gonna
That's often happened,
Anything.
even when I've thought that'll be a funny question.
see if any more comedy gold surfaces in the next 30. Let's just give it 30 seconds.
Some
Of
pressure.
silence.
Cool.
Got any gold coming?
Hold
I've got nothing.
I don't have any.
I thought I'd craft it, and then Craig gave us that clue, and it wasn't really a clue. It just
yeah,
threw me completely.
I mean,
Festival.
yeah.
Oh.
Got probably like 20 more seconds for gold. If you want.
Wait.
Yeah.
You can't really see on
Gold.
you can't really see on the projection.
No.
But the third man there is in black and white in this image.
That's true.
So my theory is that this is a man from the days of yore,
That's
and all these people from the present day are still with us.
so your theory is that he can't attend the festival because he's from the distant past.
It's actually from like the 1910s.
The 1910s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What did we say this guy's name was again?
Hugo Spear.
Spear.
Hugo Spear from
It's not going to be the
1911.
right answer because
Well, I think we're all forgetting that you do know the correct answer.
Well, I think I do. I mean, this is just
But
gonna.
what do you think?
Is it that they've all given endorsements apart from one person? I'm sure there's Hugo Spear is on the website saying
That-
this festival's awesome.
That's not actually the right answer. It's so
Oh, well.
it's so close to it.
They've all been in films.
Yes.
Peter Mullen was in a film
Yes.
that was here.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with the lady person that wasn't.
No.
How?
Uh, Does anyone else want to have a guess at it? That's
Aye.
as close, I think, as we're going to get.
I think it would be
That's
churlish for me to guess
close.
anything.
Yeah,
as
I'm
well.
going to give Graham some points for like pretty much getting us there. The answer is that they've all acted in films that have been shown here at the festival, except for Hugo Spear, who has submitted his directorial debut to the festival, and it showed here. It showed here last year. So I give some points to Graham for that one. So,
Yes.
so well done. This next round, I mean, I struggled with taglines last month. For anyone who saw it, with the name of the round, sort of then hamstrung me for what I was just about to say to introduce the round, because it sort of explained itself. And similarly with this, I was really struggling with the title. What's brilliant about the festival this year, you might have seen some of it's on the wall. What I've done is I've got images of 3 of those that are on the walls here, and I want you, they're maybe slightly abstract images from the film, or you know, one scene or a different sort of view, and I want you to tell me what the film is. So this round is called Guess the Films from the Film Art, which are drawings, representations, or paintings of a specific actual film. Which film?
Is that a panel?
Without a paddle?
It's not that film. No.
shit!
Aha!
It's a classic film.
So it involves a canoe and some water and a paddle
If you want.
or oar. Is it Poltergeist?
Yeah. No.
Okay. Does the fact that it's
Just that.
broken have any significance?
Well, sort of. The idea of being stuck where you are is probably a slight theme of it.
Is it?
Broken arrow?
It's not Broken Arrow. It's a classic film. It's an outdoorsy sort of film.
Is it?
Actually,
Was it Deliverance?
It is Deliverance. Well done, Scott. You see from this text, it is Deliverance.
How like do you describe it as an outdoorsy kind of film? Just skirt around the
I
main issues.
was trying to not just give it straight away to you. So yeah, Deliverance. Our second one is slightly more abstract. You really, I didn't get this straight away, but once it was explained to me, I was like, that makes total perfect sense.
Is it 27 Headless Men?
Yes, I don't think the number of the headless men is particularly important, but yes, the fact that they're headless is very important.
Oh, no.
Running
Man.
It's not.
No!
Is it Kill Bill?
It's not Kill Bill.
Is it
No.
Kill Bill 2?
It's not any of the Kill Bill films. The fact that there's one man with a head probably is the main clue.
I'm trying to think of all those films where I've seen male characters with heads.
Well, think about one where you've seen one male character with heads and then a lot of male characters without heads.
Is it Sleepy Hollow?
It's not, no, but that's a
Oh,
much
that was a
better
shout.
guess. That is
Yeah.
a much better. I'm
Bang.
going to give you a point just for being clever, because I never even guessed anything about the first time I saw it.
Highlander.
It's Highlander! Well done. Points for Graham there. Does anyone know what this is?
Yeah,
Yeah.
this one's out in the hall. I saw it earlier and figured it
And
out. Breakfast Club.
It is the Breakfast Club, a top-down view of the Breakfast Club, which I think is very cool. At the end of our film art round, yeah, Joe, you're still out in the lead, so well done, Joe. Now we're into a round that can literally go in any direction. It's called elevator pitch. The reason it's called elevator pitch is because an elevator pitch is a 10-second movie pitch that you should have in your pocket at all times in case you're stuck in a lift with Steven Spielberg. And what I want you to do is give me a short pitch for a film. Based on the titles, as per usual, there's some from people here. 12 Angry Women. How would you see that panning out?
That can work. I see no future for that.
I think if you look over there, you'll see exactly how that would pan out. My goldfish stole my identity.
I'm guessing that involves like freight from the goldfish. Yeah. I mean, You got the goldfish bowl sitting right next to your laptop. They're going to see all your passwords. And identity fraud is not a laughing matter. I don't find it so funny.
Yeah, let's be serious, guys. But if you chuck your iPhone in a goldfish bowl, that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to be looking.
They're going to be looking.
Exactly. But they will have to like tattoo it on themselves like Memento because they've got a 5-second memory. They'll be like, what's that? That's Facebook password. And then if he gets distracted by a castle or a miniature scuba diver, that's got to happen at least 10 more times before he gets to the computer and rips off your bank account details.
I would love to see a goldfish tattoo itself in under 5 seconds. That'd be quite an impressive feat.
Or maybe post-its, waterproof post-its. To be honest, I'd be impressed if a goldfish had mastered the art of language at all. In whatever context, it managed to do it in 5 seconds.
Waterproof post-it notes.
Waterproof post-it notes.
It's a sci-fi now.
Yeah. Too many fork handles.
The film version of the classic film sketch where your man walks into a shop and asks for 8 candles, which doesn't work. Doesn't work as well as the sketch version.
Noises you might hear in space, and noises you might not hear in space. I quite like that.
It's a mystery.
It's a bit saucy.
Mystery film. That's all.
Okay. I quite like the sound of Shindig 2, because it implies that we've all seen Shindig.
This time, it's more Shindigger.
This time it's a hoedown. This is called Shindig 2, but 2, I'm guessing, spelt T-double-O. So it's about other people shindigging as well, because the first shindig was about a lone shindigger. Taking his shins into some serious shindigging.
What about the film Plot Twist?
Directed by M. Night
Night
Shyamalan.
Yeah. I owe you 20p seems very abstract.
Was that supposed to go in the charity?
I think that's definitely in the yeah. One person's just wrote, surprisingly enough. It's like the end of a sentence that isn't there. It's like, oh yeah. But they've not given you any context for that. I don't know if anyone goes on IMDb, but there's a bit for each film which is memorable quotes. Now, for each film, there's normally a couple of sort of standout lines of dialogue. So, in the Terminator, you go into memorable quotes. First quote, top of the list, I'll be back, sorted. Fast and Furious 5, you go, the top of the list is, but not today. With no context to how that's a dramatic line. It's not enough information at all.
If anybody's ever seen a director's cut before, Craig used to do a round right at the start instead of the taglines round, where you would do Lost in Translation,
Yeah.
where you would take films that have been given different titles in other countries and try to guess us what the film is in English. And I told Craig to use one on one of the shows I wasn't on. But I don't think he ever did, so we tell you now, the Japanese translation of Final Destination 3 is Final Deadly Coaster.
Yeah, there's some quality spoiler translation. Yeah, I think Thelma and Louise was Thelma and Louise, a sad ending. It's like Mexico or something, it's just like, that totally spoils that. Also, The Sixth Sense in Japan, he's a ghost. With an exclamation mark. Like, he's a ghost! You don't need to see this anymore.
Does Final Deadly Coaster,
Final Deadly Coaster.
does that count as a spoiler? I mean, like, it
Well,
would be pretty shocking if they went on that roller coaster and everyone got off. I'm like, that was fun.
Yeah. A lot of random point scoring in that round, and he must have said things that amused me greatly, but Graham Hughes has snuck into the lead past Joe and is our front runner as we go into the top 3 round. Now, this month is top 3 animated characters every month on the show, I ask my guests to have a think about in advance their top 3 things of a thing, and this month it's top 3 animated characters. So you'll get points for a good answer, points for a good reason, or points with matching with my top 3, which is written on this bit of paper here. So why don't we start with you, Graham?
This probably won't come as a surprise to you, as you know I'm a big Wally fan. So Wally.
Yes.
I don't even think I need to justify that.
I know you're a sucker for Wally. I like it as well.
He's awesome.
You don't really have to explain that one. I think anyone that's seen Wally would.
Although, like, it seems a bit of a mixed bag. I've met a lot of people that didn't like it, and it really makes me angry.
Yeah. What's your second choice?
Ham from Toy Story 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Easily the best character out of those films filled with amazing characters.
Oh. So, no.
Your case, Cox?
It's a show of disagreement there. I personally love Rex.
Like I said, they're all great, but Ham's my favourite.
Yes.
I like how he knows like the make and model of every electronic device ever made. It amuses me.
Yeah.
And he's just, I don't know, his general character is nice.
Yeah. And your third choice?
It's from the film Akira, which is probably the greatest animated film I've ever seen. Anyway. And it's the character of the Colonel. I don't know his proper name. It's like Shiki Him or something.
I can't
But he's just your typical Colonel type character from a film. He's really like loves the army and all that, and he has a mohawk, which I enjoy. He has a line.
Quite a low entertainment.
He has a line which Keith also enjoys. He says, "Where are my men at?" He's like got that gangster kind of. Where are my men at?
Yeah.
It's one of these gangster colonels. isn't it?
Gangster
Yeah.
Colonel. And there's this brilliant scene where there's like this kind of coup, and the government is stepping in with the government agency to stop him and his army guys. And they meet at this helicopter platform, and they're like, "Colonel, you're being arrested." And he goes, "Shoot that man." And then he shoots him dead, and then one of the FBI guys shoots one of his guys dead, and he's like, "Enough! This is madness!" Like, you told him to shoot the guy.
Yeah.
Like, they're dead, and he's like, "Okay, that's enough. 2 men are dead." That's my total for the day.
Well, those are very good choices. Scott?
Right, okay. Number 3, I have gone for Eve from Wall-E.
Thank you for the correction.
It was kind of like, I came away from Wall-E not that impressed with the film, sorry, but totally in love with Eve. And I don't know how it would work. You know, there must be an outlet somewhere, a USB port or something. But it made me realise, right, if it comes to the world when I'm still alive, where humans and robots have to live as one, I could easily fall in love with a robot and have sex with him. Jack Skellington, which is going to come as a surprise, since I hate Tim Burton.
Yeah, that's what I was just about to say. The first 2 times Scott was here, in both in this panel show and in your stand-up set, you professed a hatred for Tim Burton.
Yeah, and it still stands.
Mm-hmm.
But I just like Jack Skellington, the fact that he's like the Pumpkin King, the master of Halloween, but he's so incredibly camp. Seen the way he just prances about and and then becomes obsessed with Christmas. That's not what I expected. It doesn't happen in Monsters Inc.
No.
He's a bit shit for Halloween, actually. Number 1 is Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. Because as the song says, no one does it like Gaston. But I'm pretty sure if Beauty and the Beast wasn't Disney or a PG, that he would be a bit of a rapist. But it was Disney, and
Moving
it is
on
a
to
PG,
lighter
so
material you said.
so he's not a rapist, and it's okay to like him.
Okay.
Plus, I like the fact that when he went off to fight the Beast, he put his best clothes on. Just desperate to make a good impression, even though a fight beckoned. I thought it was great.
Yeah. Joe, what's your selections?
I was going to say Keanu Reeves because he is two-dimensional, although he is not animated, is he? So we can't have that.
Not really.
So instead, I plumped for Wallace or Gromit. I think probably Gromit would have to take that one because although he doesn't talk, he's just able to be so expressive with just the use of his eyebrows and his nose and all the rest of it and his ears. So I think he's definitely up there. Also, Buzz Lightyear. I think we've got a lot of Pixar in today, and I think that's quite right. As he was massively popular as a Christmas toy as well. So he's probably not sacrilegious to say he's bigger than Mickey.
That could be the new John Lennon quote.
Bigger than Mickey.
Buzz Lightyear's bigger than Mickey.
Yeah. And my final, it's quite a hard choice actually, but basically anything that's been animated by Ray Harryhausen. I was wanting to go for the Skeleton Warriors, Jason and the Argonauts, I think it is. They're just so incredibly menacing, and although it has kind of aged, it's just great that you could do that in a garage, basically.
Yeah.
But they're several people, so it's not really an animated character. So I've gone for the kind of the Colossus that attacks them in one of the films.
Is it called the Kraken?
That's a different.
Is that someone else?
Yeah.
That's a different Ray Harryhausen monster, actually.
Did he do that the big walrus thing as well in Eye of the Tiger?
Oh, Sinbad.
Yeah.
I think he might have done. Yeah.
That's terrifying. Absolutely
Yeah.
terrifying.
I have to say that none of you technically matched with my top three, but I'm going to give Joe 5 points because the first one I have on my list is the Skeletons and Jason and the Argonauts, because I decided that as a character, though they come as a group, so
Okay.
I kind of counted them.
Agree to disagree.
Yeah.
Thanks for the point. I think it's good instruments.
I gave you the points, but
Yeah.
I can take them back just as quickly. But yeah, no, definitely, really, really creepy and unsettling, and that's what a monster should be. Is something that you get worried about ages after watching the film. Just the animation had life, and a lot of animation doesn't have any actual life. It's got technical skill, but no actual soul. And I think that's what you're saying about Gromit, is he's got a very clear personality, despite never saying anything. I was struggling with Pixar because there's so many. I thought I'll try and choose one, and then I ended up choosing two. I've went for Sully from Monsters Inc. just because he's big, he's furry, and who doesn't love anything voiced by John Goodman? I don't think you could not love a John Goodman performance in any movie.
Did you see that Father of the Pride though, where he played an animated lion?
No. I'll probably try and keep that the case.
Sky One series,
And the last one I sort of debated with people in the room before you guys got here, because I didn't want to appear weird. But the Mrs. Incredible, you kind of out-weirded me with Eve from WALL-E.
Yeah,
so,
no.
Mrs. Incredible in The Incredibles, Elastigirl, is oddly alluring for an animated character. I think it's Holly Hunter's voice that I quite like. My kind of honourable mention would be Wallace and Gromit, I think, just because I love that series of films. So I think the only person to score any points from that top three is Joe Waterfield. Interestingly, and I say that in the loosest possible terms, there is actually prizes to be won.
It's just like Funhouse, yeah.
Much like you're going to make you race go-karts in a minute. But there is actually prizes. I was trying to choose the most appropriate thing from the series. I thought, what is the thing that's been mentioned most across the series? And
But we're going to get a Seagal box set.
pretty much. Winning the star prize, which is the film Submerged, which is atrocious and is mainly cobbled together from stock footage of other films. The submarine effect is the funniest thing that's ever featured. And Ticker, which actually should have been good because it's got Dennis Hopper and Tom Sizemore in it, and it actually had a budget. I think you'll enjoy the sleeve notes more than the film. Detective Ray Nettles and bomb defusal expert Frank Glass are the sharpest cops on the force. It's almost too subtle. So we've got Glass and Nettles in Ticker, and Steven Seagal in Submerged, which has a brilliant subtitle. It's Submerged brackets with Vinnie Jones as Henry, which I really like. It's like, oh, I wasn't going to buy it, but I will now. But yes, also feature two brilliant. I mean, that's got the sharpest cops on the force. This features another great tagline: "Trapped beneath the waves, but Seagal's not out of his depth," which I love. You should really look up "Today You Die," which has the catchphrase, "What does Steven Seagal do?" It's in a sort of classic joke format. What does Steven Seagal do when he goes to San Francisco? Nearly destroys it! That's how it's written. It's like, it's mental. And he does not nearly destroy it because there's one explosion in the film and it's a plastic helicopter. So, but yes, for the last time this series, I'll announce the winner of the show. If we had the drum roll, I would instigate it right now. We can help out with that if you want. Will I sort of my tally marks? Yes, the winner of the last episode of Director's Cut Ever is Mr. Joe Waterfield. He retires undefeated from Director's Cut, having won his first episode.
Thank you for this.
This honour, so please, you can. It just made me happy to just leave you in the lurch like that. That was fun. But yeah, those are for you, and I want you to watch them and then let me know what you think of them, or at least read the sleeve notes and let me know what you think of them.
let you know what I think of these apparently horrendous films.
Yeah. Now this is what I said.
I wasted 4 hours.
I almost.
My fun.
Yeah.
Thank you for the wonderful trophy.
Well, you can like get them framed or something, but frame them sleeve notes out because them's what you buy it for.
Yeah. When the countdown hits 0, you're dead. That's ticker.
Yeah.
Countdown ticker.
Yeah.
Is the link there.
There's loads of good stuff.
All right. Well, thanks.
So have fun with those.
I certainly will.
But I'd just like to thank a few people for their help across the series. Everyone at the East Kilbride Arts Centre, Claire Hume and Raymond Anderson. Everyone that's been on the show for the last 3 episodes. I think we've had 16, 17 really, really interesting people. No one's been bad. Everyone's been really, really funny across the series. I'd also like to thank James Fleming, I don't know where he is, over there, and Stephen Donnelly, who's currently working, nice Frank, Stephen, that was impressive. I'd like to thank Martin for letting us put on the show here, and also Martin Kelly, who helps out with the writing of some of the rounds, and Jen, who has had to write stuff for the show as well as film her husband in a dress being attacked by a killer condom, which can't be dignified for any wife. I'd like to thank everyone who's came to the show across the series. It's been really appreciated that people have supported the show. But for tonight and for this series, that's it. So thank you very much for watching Director's Cut, and we'll see you again soon. Cheers.